Hi there. So we're here with Mattel and Scott Neitlich. We just had a great collector press event at Toy Fair.
It was awesome.
It really was. Lots of great stuff. You'll see it all on the site. But we want to talk a little bit about Justice League and the news of this being sort of the last hurrah of it.
Yeah, this is, oh my God, it breaks my heart that this is, well, 2011 will be the last year for Justice League, but it's kind of a bittersweet thing because we are going to be moving on to Young Justice, which is the brand new show on Cartoon Network on Friday nights. And that's definitely going to take the place at retail of Justice League. We've had a good run, almost I think 10 years plus.
10 years,
10 years.
Yeah.
Not even counting the Hasbro Batman the Animated stuff that ran like 10 years before that.
Right.
You know, with most toy lines running like 2-3 years max, this has been absolutely incredible. The bottom line story for all you viewers at home is, we ran Justice League as long as we could, as long as there was fan support. And, it's definitely retail is excited about Young Justice, which we are too. And we would have loved to keep, Justice League going on things like Matty Collector, but unfortunately, the fan base kind of just wasn't there. We have a very vocal, enthusiastic fan base, one that you and I are hugely a part of.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, the online packs on Matty just weren't doing the numbers we needed them to do. Right. We had really high hopes that it was going to be a lot like Masters of the Universe Classics. Yeah, we really thought it was going to be like that, and we were just going to keep it going perpetually on Matty. Every quarter or so do a new 4-pack. Mm-hmm. And we even thought we'd alternate in-show, out-of-show, kind of like Doom Patrol, Justice Guild. Right. We had all sorts of ideas for great packs for both in-show and out-of-show, but at the end of the day, even packs like Parademon and Calabac just didn't do the numbers we needed them to do, and we've decided that, based on where the sale numbers are, that 2011 will be the last year, but you know what? We're going to go out with a bang. We are going to make sure 2011, we are not going to rest on our laurels, and we're really going to make sure Justice League goes out and we do it justice. No pun intended. Nice. So there are still a few surprises in store. We just revealed some new 3-packs for Target at our collector event here in New York. And we've got a few more things that we're going to sneak up on the Matty Collector, including a brand new 7-pack that we're going to offer in the fall that is going to finish off, if you will, the card-carrying members of the league. Okay.
That's your first 7-pack ever, isn't it?
Yep. It will be in the 6-pack structure.
Okay.
But we're going to squeeze 7 figures into that. Okay. And we knew that if we weren't going to get to every character we ever wanted to do. Right. But we at least wanted to try to finish off the card-carrying members of the Justice League. We're not ready to announce who those members are, but I think most fans will probably figure it out. Right. I mean, they know from watching the show who was on it, who we haven't done. I'll tell you, one of the figures will be Gypsy. So we can kind of extrapolate, I think, who the other ones will probably be from that. Okay. And that'll be available as a 7-pack, probably in early fall. Okay. And between that and what we've revealed at Toy Fair just now is going to kind of wrap up the line. Right.
Will there be a Comic-Con exclusive this year?
There's not going to be a Comic-Con exclusive, but similar to what we did last year with Lobo, and as we just revealed at New York Toy Fair, we are going to have an oversized figure in June, which is going to be Stripe. Right. That we showed him here in New York Toy Fair. And he'll have an alternate head, so you could swap out the robot helmet with the human head. Mm-hmm. And it'll be packaged just like Lobo on a single card blister. Okay. So that kind of would have been our Comic-Con item, but being Young Justice what it is, we wanted to have a Young Justice item at Comic-Con, which made sense. So the very first Young Justice toy ever will be a Comic-Con exclusive, and then you'll see the Young Justice toy line that we just showed here in New York in stores in the fall. Okay.
Do you remember, with your involvement in Justice League, the first character you got to pick out and say, I want that guy in the line?
Oh, it was the question. So here's kind of the inside scoop of what happens. It was the time when the original 6-pack, so you had the Doomsday pack and then the Grodd pack, if my memory recalls. And the Grodd pack was scheduled to be the very last thing in the line. Pretty much the show had been off the air for 2 years already. Sales were kind of dwindling at retail. We didn't really have any other avenues like Matty Collector at the time, and the Grodd pack was it. And that was the time we were doing Infinite Heroes, and I just come into the marketing group from Hot Wheels, into the Action Play group. And I mean, it's no secret that I am a huge Justice League fan. The 2 lines I came to Mattel to work on were Justice League and Masters of the Universe. They're my absolute favorite. Okay. And I had pitched to my management. I was a very low-level brand analyst at the time. I was like, we got to keep Justice League going. I mean, the tooling is very inexpensive. They use shared bodies or bucks. You know, you only have to do new heads and capes. There's so many characters left to do. We got to find a way to do it. So we thought, well, maybe we could pitch it to one retailer as an exclusive. And Target seemed like the good one to take it, since they were taking the six-packs. That was their exclusive, with the Doomsday and Grodd pack. And I remember very distinctly in my mind, we were in a huge meeting. It was what's called the RCR, the Rough Concept Review meeting. And that's where we present all of our ideas to senior management for our customized program for the year. So we presented a customized program for Target. And this was right after we signed the master agreement with Warner Brothers. Where it was no longer the rights to Batman and Superman, and then Justice League was kind of its own thing that wasn't tied into the Batman-Superman license. So we just signed the master agreement, which meant we had access to every character finally. Characters that were blocked off to us, like the Question and Blue Beetle and Captain Atom, who were Charleston characters we didn't have access to due to a legal issue. But now that we signed the master contract, we had access to them. And it was like just breaking my heart, like, we gotta get these guys in. I mean, the Question is the #1 requested figure. Do you guys remember when the Question was the one you guys all wanted, and not like who you know, you're asking for Granny Goodness now? I mean, like, there was a time when you couldn't get the Question. I just want to remind you of that.
That's true.
So we're in this meeting, and our vice president, Doug Wadley, who still runs our division, he said he knew I was the new collector guy on the team, and he called me out in this meeting of 40 people and said, Scott, do we keep Justice League? You know, do we do this? And I was like, absolutely. Like, it's so hard to find a line that has a collector following that you don't stop it. Because you're always trying new lines, and it's hit or miss. But when you have something that's really working, and when it's so tooling efficient, it was a no-brainer. So we quickly put together I think a 3-pack line and a 6-pack line for Target. And then Target came in and said they also wanted singles. They originally weren't going to we weren't going to do singles, but they wanted them because of the price point. So we made sure to shuffle in the characters fans really wanted. Like, that's when we had Captain Atom. You had the Question. We brought back the Fire and Ice pack. Remember the time when Fire and Ice was hard to find? See, we do listen to fans. We don't get enough, I don't think we get enough credit, to be honest. So we put together the 3-pack program. We got out the Question. I was so excited for the Question because he made the show. Let's face it.
I mean, that last season especially, he was pretty key.
Yeah, I mean, even Bruce Timm said in the commentary when they put the Question in, the first episode, and they got back the first animatics, they're like, oh my God, the show's about the Question now, isn't it? This is the Question show. So I was so glad. I thought it was just going to be like this one hit. We only got one season. We get the Question, it was done. But it worked. It worked very well at Target. So it was great. Now we can plan out a full year, not just one season. So that was actually one of my favorite moments working on the line, because I got to sit down with design and plan out the entire year. We basically drew up a list of, like, you know, who are our dream figures. If we only got one more a year, you know, who could we get in? And then Matty Collector was starting at the same time, and because Justice League was one of those big collector lines, we're like, oh, no brainer, we'll do it on Matty too. So we did the 4-pack with the Gotham villains, and we did the Shazam pack, which I really wanted Captain Marvel. I'm so glad we did him. And, you know, we're like, oh, well, we'll do the whole Marvel family. And kind of the idea was on Matty, we were going to alternate an in-show pack and an out-of-show pack. And we really had high hopes that, based on the noise online, that the JLU program on Matty would just go forever, much like Masters of the Universe Classics. But to do that, we really had to sell a minimum number of units. Fast forwarding today, we tried a lot of executions on Matty, and honestly, they just weren't working.
And you tried it in 2-packs and 4-packs.
And singles with Lobo. You know, and then Target kind of backed away from the 6-packs, and we wound up taking some of the figures developed for the 6-packs and selling them on Matty as 2-packs. That's where the Parademons and the Calabac Darkseid, they were originally going to be in a 6-pack with a Superman and a repainted Orion. It was going to be in comic book colors, which was like a brighter red, I think, for Orion. So it just kind of like, it got to the point that the noise was huge online, but people were not buying. And I know there were people saying, oh, well, if it was this character, I would have bought, or if the prices were less. But, you know, kind of the way it works is the fewer units we do, the higher cost to make it. Because it's what's called a minimum order quantity, an MOQ. And when you're below MOQ, the costs for us to produce it rise, so we have to pass it on to the customer. And we were selling fewer and fewer packs that we were having to increase the price. And, you know, it had to do what Masters Classics did is you had to have a baseline that would buy anything. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you, we pretty much sold the same number of Parademons as we sold Doom Patrols. Really within like 100 units or something
that's
really
kind of
small.
the big like army builder that we thought would.
And we should have sold out of Parademons in 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, really. They should have flown. And the fact that they didn't, and that the fact that at the end of the day, after a month, they sold just as many units as Doom Patrol, pretty much said that's what your baseline, that was our baseline.
Right.
But the baseline wasn't big enough to justify keeping it going.
Did you get any boost from sort of the holiday season with Toys R Us picking up the singles and some of the online retailers being able to grab
To tell you
some
enough,
of
that was almost like plugging holes. It was like just enough to barely keep it going.
Okay.
It really got to the point that the show had been off the air for so long. Honestly, I'll tell you, I was kind of thrown off because the noise online, and I will say on your site probably has more fans of JLU than any other site.
Right.
They're so loud online. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Chip. They're so loud online that management felt very comfortable that this, and also it was relatively inexpensive to do because a lot of the tooling is done. It's new heads, but like I said, that bare minimum number that we sold the same amount of Parademons as Doom Patrol or Justice Guild, it was just so far off from the minimum number we needed to even turn the machines on.
Right.
That it just wasn't going to be enough.